Hey guys, have you all been following the discussion on the caste census recently? It's everywhere these days, and people say that it is one of the most important tools to understand inequality in India.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I don't get why it's such a big deal. Isn't caste a thing of the past? Why do we still bring it up while talking about equality, development, business, media, or education?
I used to think that too. I genuinely believed success today was all about merit and hard work. But when I saw the Telangana caste census, where backward classes make up around 57% of the population and only a tiny share of businesses and wealth, I realized people don't start life at the same point, and success isn't just about merit.
Exactly. To understand today's inequality, we need to understand where caste began.
Caste traces back to the Varna system. In the Rig Vedas Purusha Shukta, society is described as emerging from a cosmic being Purusha, where Brahmins come from his mouth, Kshatriyas from his arms, Vaishyas from his thighs, and Shudras from his feet. Originally, Varna was flexible, based on quality and profession and not birth. If you were good at learning, you become a Brahmin. Good at warfare, you become a Kshatriya. Good at trade, you become a Vaishya. It wasn't hereditary.
Texts like Manusmriti later formalized duties. Brahmins restricted to knowledge, Kshatriyas to protection, Vaishyas to trade, and Shudras to labor. But the real issue began when these duties became linked to birth instead of ability.
And this shift didn't happen by accident. Historically, the groups at the top, especially Brahmin elites, reinterpreted and reshaped religious rules, purity laws, and texts to keep knowledge, rituals, and social privilege with their own families. Once power was tied to birth, Varna slowly became a rigid hereditary system, which can
Okay.
be said as Jati.
Okay, so this is how Varna becomes Jati, the caste system we live with today. Jati literally means birth group. Thousands of endogamous communities where you marry inside your caste and inherit your occupation.
The original flexibility disappeared. Instead of asking what are your skills, the society started asking what is your caste, and that decided your job, your opportunities, and your social status.
And the consequences were massive. Shudras and later Dalit groups were denied education, pushed into the hardest jobs, and excluded from the mainstream society. Those disadvantages built up over centuries and didn't magically vanish after independence.
So you're saying that the caste system today isn't the flexible Varna idea. It's a rigid, inherited, and hierarchy.
And when you look at business ownership, private sector jobs, media representation, caste still shapes who gets ahead and who struggles.
Exactly, the past is still sitting in the present, quietly deciding success, opportunity, and merit. So, what does representation actually look like today? Let's pull up some data and see the numbers.
Alright, so when we look at actual numbers, the picture is honestly uncomfortable. Because caste isn't just some cultural identity, it's sitting right there in who owns businesses, who controls capital, and who gets access to opportunity.
Yeah, and it hits you only when you see it side by side. Like take business ownership. Dominant caste groups, who are barely 10 to 12% of the population, own a huge chunk of private enterprises and formal sector firms.
Exactly, and look at the Dalits. They are around 16% of the population, right? But they own a very tiny share of firms that employ more than 20 people. It's so disproportionate that you can't just say, oh, maybe they're not interested. It's structural.
Yeah, and it even gets clearer when you look at it at what kinds of jobs different castes are ending up doing. Upper caste groups dominate high-paying professional jobs, tech, finance, law, and corporate leadership. And Dalits and Adivasis, they are overrepresented in sanitation work, gig jobs, and daily wage labor.
Wait, but people keep saying merit decides everything now. How does that fit in?
That's exactly the point. It doesn't. Merit sounds good, but merit needs support. If one group has generations of land, capital, business contacts, and education, and another group starts with nothing, how is it even a fair race? Merit in India is often just a polished word for inheritance.
Yeah, imagine two businesses starting on the same day. One has family savings, suppliers, uncles advising, cousins helping in marketing, and the other one has none of that. And on top of it, the other business faces discrimination on credit, trust, and partnership. We call both of them entrepreneurs, but they are not starting from the same line.
And caste networks matter so much in business. Like, say, if you belong to a dominant caste, you automatically have this giant individual support system. People who can vouch for you, loan you money, or connect you to the clients.
Right. Historians call this as caste and business, where caste itself becomes social capital. Trust functions like currency, and your caste identity acts like a built-in credit rating. One introduction can change your business future.
I mean, yeah, think about it. How many dominant caste groups openly say we prefer giving businesses within our community? It's normalized, no one questions it. But when marginalized castes try to build their own networks, it suddenly becomes identity politics.
Meanwhile, Dalit entrepreneurs are basically entering the market alone. No capital cushion, no cultural trust, and no safety net. One failure can push their whole family back for years.
Yes, and this is an ancient history. You can literally see it in everyday life. Who owns the big stores? Who gets the dealership? Who runs the factory? And who does the cleaning outside the factory? The divide is still there, just hidden between the modern job titles.
Yeah, so when people say caste is dead, these numbers and patterns say the exact opposite. Caste has just changed its clothing. It has moved from temples and villages to boardrooms, business networks, and wealth.
And unless we understand this reality, we can't talk about why some communities keep rising together.
While others keep getting pushed back, no matter how hard they try.
Which brings us to the next part, how dominant caste business networks actually work, how they organize, pool resources, protect each other, and build long term power. The Agarwal case is one of the perfect examples to explain this.
Yeah, that one is really interesting.
Oh, then let's get into it.
Alright, so now that we have seen how caste still shapes opportunity today, let's talk about how some dominant caste groups actually organize themselves and keep winning in business. And the Agarwal Banias of North India are in fact one of the clearest examples.
Yeah, this case is wild because their success is not some random coincidence. It's actually very, very organized. We often hear, oh, they're business minded. But business mindset alone doesn't create empires, networks do.
Exactly. And the Agarwals built these massive caste networks over decades. They started forming associations like Akhila Bharatiya Agarwal Sammelan and Delhi Pradesh Agarwal Sammelan back in the 70s. Youth wings, women's wings, communities, the whole thing. These groups literally meet, plan, coordinate investments, share contacts. It's like a private business system.
And it's not just meetings or events, they build temples, schools, colleges, hospitals, and this is not just done for charity. These institutions become spaces where the community connects, trusts each other, and does business with each other. It's a network disguised as culture.
Wait, so you're saying they're basically creating a parallel economy?
Pretty much. Imagine you want to start a business. You need capital, suppliers, mentors, loan, and labor. And your community already has all of it. Someone connects you to the distributor, someone else invests, someone gives credit. When you fall, they cushion you. So the risk is shared, success is shared, and everything stays inside.
And that's the big point. They don't rise alone, they rise together. It's collective business power.
Yeah, but here's the part people don't talk about enough. This whole caste business network depends heavily on controlling women's choices.
Exactly. And this is where the feminist angle becomes super important. Ambedkar said it long ago. Caste survives only by controlling women's sexuality. And the Agarwal case shows that very clearly.
Because think about it, if your daughter marries outside her caste, the entire network breaks. Capital leaks out, alliances break, business trust weakens. So endogamy, marrying within the caste, becomes non-negotiable.
And what's crazy is Agarwal women today are modern, right? They study, they dress fashionably, they travel, but all within the invisible boundaries that protect their caste purity and business continuity.
Yeah, they are allowed freedom as long as it doesn't threaten the network. Older women monitor behavior, who you talk to, how late you stay out, who you post, who you date. It looks like family values, but it's actually caste control.
And the irony is, while men run the invisible business side, women hold the entire system together. Through unpaid social labor, organizing festivals, managing reputation, arranging marriages, and this becomes the invisible economic backbone that keeps the caste-based capital locked inside the community. They are the silent engines of the caste reproduction.
Oh, so when people say, oh, that community is just naturally business oriented, we need to ask at what cost? Who's doing the individual work? And who's getting restricted so the network stays intact?
Exactly. The Agarwal case shows that the caste isn't fading, it is modernizing itself. It's moving through corporations, family firms, community funds, marriage markets, and even WhatsApp groups.
And this gives upper caste entrepreneurs a powerful advantage. One that Dalit and Adivasi entrepreneurs don't have, a ready-made system of credit, trust, labor, and protection.
Yeah, and that's the key difference we need to understand before we talk about why marginalized entrepreneurs struggle so much in comparison.
So now we have seen how dominant castes organize themselves to stay ahead. Let's move to the other side. Why marginalized castes often can't build similar networks and what barriers keep them stopping.
Yeah, let's dig into that next. So, after seeing how dominant caste groups like Agarwals build these massive networks to protect and grow their business, the obvious question is, why can't Dalit communities organize themselves in the same way? And honestly, the answer is not that simple. It's not about motivation or interest, it's about the system itself.
Yeah, Because people keep saying if they work hard, they'll also rise. But rise from where? Upper caste groups start with network, capital, contacts, trust, and family funds. Dalit entrepreneurs start with none of them, and on top of that, they face discrimination.
Exactly. And scholars call this as adverse inclusion. Dalits are included in the market, but only in the worst way. Low profile sectors, low trust environments, no protection, and no backup. Basically, they are allowed to enter, but only through the smallest and the riskiest doors.
A great example of this is the milk versus leather paradox. Dalits face boycotts when they try to sell milk because of the purity stigma. But when the leather became a profitable global industry, dominant caste took over its own ownership, while Dalits were pushed back into labor. That's adverse inclusion in practice. Think about what we've just discussed with the Agarwals. They have credit networks, labor networks, reputation networks. Dalit entrepreneurs don't have that system.
Yeah, if a dominant caste businessman wants a loan, he can call an uncle or a cousin. If a Dalit entrepreneur tries the same thing, whom do they call? There is no intergenerational capital because historically they were denied land, they were denied property rights, and they were denied education.
And without a safety net, simply they can't take big risks. One business failure can destroy the entire Dalit family's future.
And here's the harder part. The discrimination isn't just social, it's economic. Buyers may refuse to work with Dalit suppliers. Banks hesitate to give them credit. Other businessmen and avoid partnerships because of trust issues.
Yeah, and it's subtle now. No one says, I don't trust you because of your caste. They say things like, not sure if you can scale. We don't know your background and business. It's risky.
But those doubts are not there for upper caste entrepreneurs because their caste already signals that trust.
And even in modern India, nothing has changed much at the top. 93% of board members in India's top 1000 companies are from forward caste. The corporate world claims to run on merit, but it operates like a closed caste club. Research shows that Dalit firms tend to end up in markets with tiny margins, petty shops, low-end manufacturing, repair services, and small-scale production.
Yeah, and that is because they don't get access to high-value supply chains. Dominant castes control these spaces like textiles, metals, machinery, big retail, and exports. Dalits get whatever is left.
And when even Dalits enter the commodity market, they are often forced to charge lower prices because customers don't trust them. So profit stays low and even the growth stays low.
And the thing is, this hasn't happened randomly. It has roots in history.
For centuries, Dalits were legally barred from owning land, learning certain skills, entering temples, or accessing markets. By the time India became independent, upper caste already had capital and business experience. Dalits had years of exclusion behind them.
Yeah, we act like everyone started the race in 1950, but some people were 200 meters ahead before the whistle even blew.
This is the saddest part. A Dalit entrepreneur usually starts alone, struggles alone, and fails alone.
Yeah, exactly. No caste association, no mentorship, no community capital, no family business to inherit, just raw individual effort.
Yeah, meanwhile, dominant castes rise together through collective resources.
So, what do we do about this? First, we have to acknowledge that Dalit entrepreneurs aren't less capable, they are less supported.
Exactly, and unless the government steps in with credit guarantees, incubation, market access, and procurement support, the market will continue reproducing caste privilege.
And socially, we need to change this idea that success is purely merit. Because right now, merit is manufactured by history, caste, capital, and connections.
Which is why lifting Dalit business isn't charity, it's correcting the system that has been unfair for hundreds of years. So, after everything we have talked about, the network, the discrimination, the lack of safety nets, the big question is, how do we support Dalit businesses in a meaningful way?
Yeah, because telling people to just work hard is ridiculous when the entire system is uneven. So the first place change needs to happen is within the government.
Honestly, the government already knows this. There's a ton of research showing that Dalit entrepreneurs face adverse inclusion, but policy hasn't caught up yet.
So let's talk in detail what the government can do. Number one, credit guarantees. Most Dalit entrepreneurs can't get loans because banks ask for collateral. So the government needs to say, don't worry, we'll guarantee this loan. This changes everything.
Yeah, and the second big thing to do is incubation. Upper caste get mentorship from uncles, cousins, relatives, community groups. Dalit entrepreneurs need access to the same kind of business training: accounting, scaling, marketing, tech support, supply chain management, all of that.
And the government can even do public procurement quotas. Government departments buy billions worth of goods every year. If even a small percentage must be sourced from Dalit-owned firms, that alone could change the whole landscape.
And fourth, market access platforms like digital directories, fairs, exhibitions, e-commerce tie-ups, places where Dalit firms can actually be seen and not pushed it to the margins.
Basically, the government has to do what dominant caste networks already have done for their own people throughout this time: share opportunity, reduce risk, and open doors.
Yeah, because you can have the best policy in the world, but if society still thinks that Dalit businesses are less trustworthy, nothing really changes.
That is why policy alone is not enough. Exactly, that is where we should come in, like ordinary citizens, consumers, employees, and founders.
We need to change how we think about merit. We act like merit is some pure natural quality, flowing from hard work alone.
But merit is manufactured. It comes from family wealth, better schools, better network, capital cushions, and social trust. If you have all of these, people call you talented. If you have none, they call you unskilled.
And that is the biggest lie we tell ourselves. The starting line is different for every caste group. So equality of opportunity is a myth unless we actively level the ground.
And we can level it by choosing to support marginalized businesses, buying from them, partnering with them, hiring them, and trusting them.
Yeah, imagine even if 10% of Indian customers or companies made this conscious choice, it would be more than 100 TED Talks on merit.
Maybe success shouldn't just be about profit and growth. Maybe success is also who you uplift, who you include, who gets access because of you.
Yeah, because real merit shows in what you build for others, not just what you achieve alone.
And if India truly wants to become the global economic powerhouse, we can't keep excluding 1/6 of the population from opportunities. It's not just unfair, it's inefficient.
Exactly, supporting Dalit entrepreneurs isn't charity, it's smart economics, it's nation building.
Exactly, and it starts with policy, but also with us challenging the myths we grew up with.
So, in the end, the question isn't do Dalits have merit? The real question is do we have the courage to redefine merit so that everyone gets a fair chance?
Thank you.